everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This your girl Camille Tashe, giving you all another video as it relates to real estate. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. The reason that I'm making this video is because I've gotten a ton of questions regarding the real estate exam for the state of North Carolina. So I took this exam on June 30th of 2020. And so it's kind of fresh in my head still. A lot of people have been asking me for tips and tricks, and was the exam challenging, and what study methods did I take, and so forth and beyond. So I decided to create a YouTube video today to give you all some of the study tools that I used and how I was able to pass the North Carolina real estate exam on the first try. So a lot of people, they take it over and over and over and over again, and after so many attempts they finally get that passing score. But I'm literally going to share with you guys what I did to get a passing score the first time around. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first resource that I used was my actual real estate exam textbook that was provided by my pre-licensing course. The name of this textbook is called Real Estate Practice in North Carolina. Modern Real Estate Practice in North Carolina. So I will put that actually above, and then I'll also link it below as well so that you can possibly find it on Amazon. I believe they may have them on Amazon or something similar. And I actually use I can't tell what, I used the 10th edition to study. So try to get the 10th edition or later, like the newest edition, because the rules are always changing and things like that, so you can stay on top of your game. So that is one of the resources that I used. I would literally I read almost every single chapter until it started getting to the later chapters. Then I found myself like skimming more, but pretty much I read this entire book, and I used a lot of the vocabulary and terms that was inside of this book as well. So that was resource number one. The second resource that I used was YouTube. YouTube. You learn so much from YouTube. There's literally almost a how-to video on almost anything that you want to learn in life, not just real estate. So I recommend that you use YouTube. It's free, and a lot of times you really get the education or information that you need. So one of the guys that I use to prepare for the North Carolina real estate exam, his name was Travis Everette. Put that right there. And he literally he goes through that textbook chapter by chapter and explains it from the instructor, point of view. So if you're not heavy on reading, then I recommend that you utilize YouTube, because he is able to pretty much provide you with an online lecture for the free on YouTube. So honestly, out of every single resource, this one I use the most. I played Travis all day long. Do you hear me? I spoke about this in one of my previous real estate videos, but I would literally wake up in the morning with headphones in my ear listening to his lectures when I was washing the dishes, when I was cooking, when I was taking a shower. Like, I had my Bluetooth speaker playing, and I would just listen. That's all I did for weeks and weeks. So I was really absorbed with that. You can replace your music playlist with lectures. It's easy. If you're on a road trip, instead of playing your favorite music, I love R&B and rap, but yeah, you will literally just replace your playlist with YouTube lectures, and that is like the golden ticket. So outside of Travis, I also use Candyce Ellis. Link will be below. Once again, Kandyce is another instructor that is with Go School, and a lot of her videos focus on like contracts, going through the contracts in depth, as well as real estate math. And for a lot of people, that is a struggle, it's challenging. And so she actually walks you through the steps and does the math, and pretty much talk you through the entire problem. So I used a lot of her videos for like the contract portion and math, but I highly recommend that you watch those videos, especially if you're struggling with agency contracts and things like that, whether it's the exclusive right to sell, exclusive buyer agency agreement, anything to that nature. Kandyce Ellis is your girl. The next resource I had was actually an iPhone app. It was the Real Estate Exam for Dummies. And I hate these like for dummies collections because your girl's not a dummy. I just be needing more information, you know? But anyways, not the point. This resource was or is available on iPhone. It should be available on Android as well. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but it pretty much had like a lot of questions. It had, I want to say, terms. And so when I got tired of the videos, I got tired of reading and I wanted to test my knowledge. This is applying your knowledge. Then I will log on to this app to see kind of like how much I knew, kind of to test my own smarts of if I could actually pass the real exam. So that's pretty much what I use this for. And then I believe it showed you like your progress and things, but download it. I want to say it's free for a certain amount of time and then it starts to charge you. But I was trying to pass by any means necessary. So if that meant putting a lot of time and investment prior to the exam, that's what I was going to do, because the worst thing is to have to take the exam over and then you end up spending almost the same amount of money that you could have spent just investing in great study tools. So that's my perspective. That's just me. The other app that I used on my iPhone was Dearborn Real Estate Exam Prep and Review. This was another app that pretty much tested your knowledge of what you have learned thus far. And I found it to be very helpful. I believe they even have an online version as well. So between the Real Estate Exam for Dummies and Real Estate Exam Prep and Review, highly recommend to test your knowledge. Next was a website. I don't know if they have an app or not. I didn't mess around with the app. It was a website that my class had access to, and this was called Learn, Test, Pass, Exam Prep. When you scroll onto the website, there should be an exam for like proctored exam for real estate in state of North Carolina. Also, another way to test your knowledge. It had a bunch of simulated questions of what would kind of be like on the real test exam for the state of North Carolina. So I used this a lot towards the ending phase, and it had two parts for this like mock exam. So it's pretty much like an exam instead of like the quizzes with the apps that I was just telling you about. So the mock exam, like the first part was national exam, and then the next part would be like your state exam, because there's two parts on the NC real estate state board test. So you have your national part and you have your state board part. So the Learn, Test, Pass study tool was very similar to the actual real thing. The only thing I would say that Learn, Test, Pass was probably a little bit more simpler.
Wait, what? Simpler is not a word.
You'll probably have a lot more challenging questions on the actual exam, but that's just my perspective. And finally, In the very beginning, I want to say when I first got started with pre-licenses, I wanted to know down the vocabulary and the definitions because that takes you a long way. When you read a question and there's a term in that question that you're not familiar with, you're already kind of not at the best situation possible of getting that answer right. Whereas if you at least knew that term, you can do process of elimination. So with me, I created note cards, and with these note cards, I created it by each chapter, and then I went to the back of the book, the course book, and I found the definition, and I would just flip through those as well. So between all of these methods, that's about 7 study methods. I passed the first time, and I think what I would say, just outside of all the studying, is just to stay focused, stay diligent, keep your eyes on a prize. And one thing that kept me focused and motivated and encouraged was the dollar amount. Like, because I'm not about to, number one, pay all this money for pre-licensing and then fail pre-licenses to have to take the course again. And after, you do pass pre-licenses, I'm not going to continue to schedule these NC State board exams and pay more money each time to take the test. So money was a huge factor for me. Honestly, we don't have it like that to just be blowing out money to take tests over and over and over again. So that was my motivation, and I don't know. I hope that if you got to the end of this video that you received a lot of good info, and I am wishing you well in your real estate journey and career. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I'll be making some other videos because I've been getting a lot of questions around, people in my network and others that I don't know who are interested in becoming a real estate agent, and just some general questions. So I'll be dropping another YouTube video soon. Be on the lookout and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But other than that, I'm wishing you well in your journey. You will do fine. Just stay focused and have a go-getter mentality, and you got this. Okay, it's yours. It's already yours. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.